The 66-year oil order is collapsing. Date: April 28th, 2026. The world was already burning. The war launched by the United States and Israel against Iran had plunged the Middle East into an energy shock. The Strait of Hormuz, the world's most critical oil corridor, had effectively shut down. Global markets went into chaos, and capitals were calling each other. In the middle of this chaos, a statement came from Abu Dhabi: short, cold, and clear. The United Arab Emirates will withdraw from OPEC and OPEC Plus as of May 1st, 2026. Welcome to Economic History, a place where the unknown truths about how money, power, and economic history shape our present are revealed. The world paused, because this was not just a country leaving an organization. This was the moment when the system that had sustained the oil world since 1960, agreements, quotas, and silent power struggles, likely cracked in a way that cannot be reversed. What was OPEC? What was it really? Baghdad. 5 countries sat at a table: Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Venezuela. At the time, who determined oil prices? The Seven Sisters, massive Western oil companies like Exxon, BP, Shell, and others. These companies sold the black gold beneath the Middle East on their own terms, at their own prices. What the producing countries received were crumbs. OPEC's founding purpose was clear: to regain sovereignty over natural resources and ensure fair and stable prices for producers. It worked. When the 1973 oil embargo hit, the Western world faced long fuel lines. Prices quadrupled overnight. The world understood this organization had real power. The UAE joined in 1967. At the time, it wasn't even a federation. It had not yet built its oil wealth, skyscrapers, or Dubai airport. It was a small group of Gulf sheikdoms, and OPEC was its ticket to the global stage. Over 59 years, the UAE grew within OPEC, built its wealth, and eventually outgrew the organization. Today, the UAE has a production capacity of approximately 4.8 million barrels per day, with potential to increase further. This makes it the 3rd largest producer in OPEC. The broader OPEC Plus coalition, including Russia, controls around 41% of global supply. But the UAE is no longer just an oil country. Dubai is one of the world's largest logistics, finance, and tourism hubs. Abu Dhabi's sovereign wealth funds, including ADNOC and related entities, invest across the globe. The UAE is making serious moves in artificial intelligence infrastructure, renewable energy, and space technology. For this country, oil is no longer who we are, but rather how we use what we have. And OPEC quotas? They had begun to feel like chains. From the outside, OPEC looks like a cartel. From the inside, decades of internal tension, power struggles, and broken agreements. The friction between the UAE and Saudi Arabia was not new. The UAE's increasingly independent foreign policy distanced it from OPEC members, especially Saudi Arabia, with whom it had disagreements over Yemen. While Saudi Arabia wanted to continue the war, the UAE calculated differently and withdrew. Meanwhile, the UAE deepened its relations with the United States and, through the 2020 Abraham Accords, with Israel. Here is the critical line: the Abraham Accords. The UAE became the first major Gulf power to establish diplomatic relations with Israel. This decision unsettled Riyadh. Saudi Arabia had long used the Palestinian issue both politically and religiously. while the UAE acted based on pragmatic calculation. Their paths also diverged in Yemen. The result? The two countries are still allies, but no longer true partners. OPEC quota negotiations reflected this tension. The UAE repeatedly demanded higher production quotas. Saudi leadership resisted. Disagreements moved from public meetings to closed-door negotiations. The seeds of separation had been planted for years. Today, the harvest came. Why now? Because timing is everything. UAE Energy. Minister Suhail al-Mazrouei answered this question. The timing is right, because this move will not significantly affect markets or prices. The Strait of Hormuz is already closed and restricted. Everyone is constrained, including us. But making this decision now will help our partners avoid feeling additional pressure on prices. Let that sink in. The UAE is essentially saying, the world is already chaotic. There is war, the strait is closed, markets are unstable. In this noise, the additional shock of leaving OPEC will be minimized. Let's leave now. This is cold strategic calculation. The minister added, this is not a political decision, it is purely a policy decision. We need to be unconstrained. We want to be agile, flexible, and fast. What does this mean? Short term. Because the Strait of Hormuz is closed, the UAE's actual production is already limited. No immediate supply surge is expected. Medium term. The UAE is no longer bound by OPEC quotas. It can produce as much as it wants, sell at any price, and make deals with any country. This weakens OPEC's influence over global oil supply and prices. Long term. This is where the real questions begin. The collapse of OPEC could lower global oil prices, but also increase volatility because coordinated supply control disappears. Europe, already struggling for energy independence, will face more uncertainty. India and China, the world's largest oil importers, may benefit from flexible direct deals with the UAE. The United States is in a complex position. Increased pressure on Saudi Arabia, but unstable prices could affect shale producers. The bigger transformation. This is not just a political crisis. There is a deeper shift. Renewable energy is no longer theoretical. Solar, wind, hydrogen, all real. Electric vehicle sales surpassed 20% of global market share in 2025. Europe's oil demand is structurally declining. The UAE sees this. Its strategy is clear. Maximize oil profits before demand peaks in the next 15 to 20 years. From this perspective, leaving OPEC is not a crisis. It is a calculated strategy. Final though. 1960. Baghdad. 5 countries reshape the oil world. 1961 Abu Dhabi. 1 country walks away. 66 years. The oil age is not over, but the oil order is breaking apart. What comes next? Uncertainty. Multiplicity. A new system where every actor plays their own game. Dangerous, but fascinating. The energy minister said, "We want to be agile, flexible, and fast." Those words apply not just to the UAE, but to every country, every company, and every individual. Because the old rules no longer apply, and the new rules have not yet been written. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.